Oh, hello. Welcome to Full Record Jacket with moi, Phil, and he.
Moi, Ben.
Yeah, on this edition, we are going to be doing a top five. And, not long before we recorded this one, the music world was talking about the passing of Burt Bacharach at the age of 94. Burt Bacharach, one of the great songwriters and composers of the 20th century. An artist who managed to write both incredibly catchy hit pop songs and also be regarded as artistically great. And so much has already been said about Burt Bacharach. We're not going to go on too long, but we decided to pick our 5 favourite songs each, and then also what we think is a definitive version of that song. And I think in most cases these are Bacharach and David songs, are they not? So
I think most of them are.
So they are Hal David lyrics. We shouldn't forget Hal David because he wrote some great lyrics in these songs as well. Okay, so let's go straight into it, Ben. Number 5.
I was going to say, Phil, before we begin, I've got a little quiz question for you.
Okay.
Which debut album did Burt Bacharach appear on the front cover of in the 90s?
Okay, I do know this one because there's a picture of him. I must admit, though, I can't remember whether it's on the wall or it may be leaning against something on the floor, but it is on that photograph of Oasis on their debut album. Definitely, maybe. It
is indeed, yeah. I think he's on the floor. I think it might be a record cover. They've got the good, the bad, and the ugly on the TV. It's well done, Phil. You got that in one, which is unlike you, really, with our little quizzes.
It is very unlike me with our quizzes.
It is, isn't it? But I'm kicking it off, aren't I? I'm kicking this one off. And my number 5, and it's purely there because it hits a chord with me from my youth. And I know that seems a long time ago, but it's probably maybe one of his worst songs in regards to it's just irritating, but it sort of reminds me of being young, and that is Perry Como's cover of Magic Moments. And like you said, lyrics by Hal David. I think it came out in 1957. I think it was a B-side originally.
Okay,
I'm pretty sure it was a B-side.
I think 56 or 57. I think you're correct. Roughly that year. Yeah. I don't think it was the first hit. It was because wasn't the Story of My Life was the first Bacharach hit song, but that was quite soon after that.
Yeah. I think it went to number 1 in the UK in 1958. But it's mainly because it was on the Quality Street advert as a child. That's the one, yeah. And I've had it in my head all day, and like I said, it's probably one of his most annoying songs, but it's in there. Simple fact is, I love reflecting back on my youth, and that is a big part of TV adverts especially from the 80s. So yeah, it's a good song. It's catchy. It does what you want it to do from a song, really, isn't it? It's got that sort of...
It's a bit cheesy, but it's fun, it's sunny, and if it gets stuck in your head, sometimes you can enjoy it. Okay, so your number 5, Magic Moments from Perry
Magic
Como.
Moments. Simple fact, it's Quality Streets. Other chocolates are available.
Well, mine goes back, has some childhood memories associated with it, but I think it's probably regarded as a bit higher quality than Magic Moments. Close to You. They Long to Be Close to You, and I think there have been other versions of this. In fact, I may have heard a version by Matt Monro, but I'm sure there have been many more. But the definitive one for me, it's got to be Karen Carpenter. It's kind of sounds like it was almost made for her. It wasn't made for her, but it goes so well with her voice. I can't really imagine enjoying it anywhere near as much by anyone else.
I did watch the video to it. I think we discussed it, didn't we? Because she does look painfully thin in the video, but
she wasn't even at her thinnest.
No, she wasn't. But she doesn't lose any of that vocal range. And do you know who did record it first? Who did record that song first? Jason Bourne.
Okay.
the original Jason Bourne, the actor Richard Chamberlain, who played Jason Bourne, I think, in the 1988 TV movie.
Okay.
So there you go.
I didn't know.
For you there.
Okay, I didn't know he'd first recorded it. I thought that it might have been. Was he the guy who played the Doctor in that drama? Doctor Kildare. Was that him?
It may have been.
I think that was him.
Yeah, because I think Diane Warwick did a version, but the Carpenters version was the most successful version of it.
Definitive. Okay, my number 5, The Carpenters, Close to You, with Karen playing the drums as well as singing. Okay, number 4.
Yes, she did, yeah. Underrated drummer, I think, at times. That's my little Karen Carpenter thing out of the way. But my number 4, Phil, is by a band that we all love, and it's the Beatles. I don't know if you know them at all. Little band from Liverpool. Might have a career going for them at some point. We'll see how they get on. But it's from their 1960, and you may correct me on this, but I think it's 1963 debut, Please Please Me, Baby, It's You. And I think it was a hit for not only the Beatles, but I think the Shirleys.
The Shirelles.
The Shirleys.
That was where they got it from. Yeah, that was one of the girl groups that the Beatles admired, and they did that.
Yeah, so
tucked away on side 2 of the LP.
Yeah, but it wasn't until I think the late 60s, I think 69, a band called, I think it was Smith, or the Smith. It wasn't the Smiths, because they were another 12, 13 years away, but I think they released it, and I think got to around number 5 in the charts, but it's got that nice sha-la-la-la in it, so some nice harmonies.
Well, the Beatles version obviously was an album track at the time. There is a different recording. There's the Live at the BBC recording, which actually did come out as a single in the 90s.
Yes, it did, yeah.
I think it's got in the charts somewhere.
Yeah, was that a 4 CD album? That Live at the BBC?
I think it was a double CD, but there's also been a subsequent double CD with more.
Yeah, I know it's a double vinyl, because I've been trying to get it for a little while. So if anybody has it, it is long, but yeah, worth a listen. So yeah, that was my my number 4, Baby, It's You. Sha-la-la-la.
Okay, well, I'm also in the 60s with male vocals, but this is a very different vocalist because it's the unmistakable voice of Scott Walker fronting the Walker Brothers, who weren't really brothers, but it's Make It Easy on Yourself, which I've liked for a long time. When I first got into that, it was my favourite Bacharach song for a long time, and great performance by Scott Walker. So that's Make It Easy on Yourself for me at number 4. For you at 3, what have you got?
Well, I've got the song that Diane Warwick turned down. Now, I've got to have a little word with Diane, because I think she turned down a classic here, and it was made popular by Jackie Del Shannon, I think.
Okay, yeah, Jackie D. Shannon.
D. Shannon, or Del,
Del Shannon was another artist. He was a bloke. He was good, actually.
Yes, yeah. Well, it's What the World Needs Now.
It's love.
1965. It is love. It is love. And I think it had a big subtext around the Vietnam War, that song, as well.
I think so. The little spoken bit in the middle to add a little bit of...
Yeah, no, it's one thing you have to say about Bacharach songs is they just feel layered. You can almost feel the layers of the songs, and with those sort of soft vocals. And this is just another one of those songs that you put it on. Let's face it, it's not hard rock, it's not new metal, but it just makes you feel warm. It's like someone's put a little blanket around you and gone, you know what, it's going to be okay. So, but yeah, that is What the World Needs Now. Another song I've had in my head all day as well. So, yeah, that's my number 3.
Okay, well, in that spot for me, I've gone for a song that's it's got a bit of a sad ending to it, really. It's 24 Hours from Tulsa, and I've gone for not the well-known or the best-known version, which was June Pitney. I prefer the voice of Dusty Springfield, and her version can be found on her debut album, A Girl Called Dusty. And, it's a well-known song. I don't need to talk too much about it, but it's a little a little story in a song. And as is always the case with these Bacharach songs, the tune gets stuck in your head. So there you go.
It does. They are very much earworms, aren't they?
Indeed, they really are.
I wonder where he was to be 24 hours from Tulsa. Does he actually say it in the song?
It doesn't say where the character is. No, I don't know. 24-hour drive from Tulsa. I'm not sure where that would be. Could be somewhere.
Or flight, which would mean he'd be halfway around the world.
I get the impression it was a road trip, but
well, we can't ask Burt now. So it's
you could ask Hal. You could ask Hal David, or did he die, or is he? Oh, I can't remember whether Hal David is still around. He can't. No, well, I don't think he is. He didn't.
Is he not? Well, then it would always be a mystery to where the person was located 24 hours from Tulsa. And yeah, but
so that's number 3. So for number 2,
well, this was tough for me, Phil. This was because there was quite a lot that we could have gone for, and there's a few which we will mention later in our honorary mentions. But for there's just something about the vocals. That's what I've gone for, apart from Perry Como. But my top 3 are sublime vocally, and it's 1964's another Diane Warwick. Diane Warwick seemed to do quite a lot of
Dion
Bacharach. Dion Warwick. Dion, Diane. Dion? Is it Dion?
It's Dion. She's Dion.
Dion.
D-I-O-N-N-E.
Okay. If you're listening, Miss Warwick, I'm really, really sorry for getting your name wrong.
She's on Twitter quite a lot, so you could go on and apologise to her on there.
I will do, and no doubt she'll reply because she watches this every week. So, but it's Walk On By. I just think it's just a sublime vocal on it. Dion Warwick's vocal it's just sublime. It's like melted chocolate.
It's a great song. I've also got Aretha Franklin's version of that when she was very, very young, before she signed to Atlantic, when she was on Columbia.
Yeah, but it's been covered quite a lot, hasn't it, that song?
Yeah, wasn't it also done by Gabrielle?
Yeah, Gabrielle did it. Cyndi Lauper, I think Isaac Hayes, Gloria Gaynor. The Stranglers did a version. And do you know who else did a version? You know who else did a version, Phil? And I'm going to see them live in March on my birthday.
Is it? Oh, who are you going to see live? I can't remember who you were going to see. Is it Future Island?
Think Rubbery Puppets.
I should get it from that clue.
Hold your chicken in the air, paint your left knee green.
No, I'm totally confused.
Spitting image.
You're going to see. Okay, I was thinking that was a Spitting Image reference, but I didn't think you were going to see Spitting Image.
I'm going to see Spitting Image live, but Spitting Image also covered. Now I've not heard it, but they also covered Walk On By. It was something to do with Old Maggie or something like that. So
I think it's fair to say Dionne Warwick's version is definitive, but it is one of those songs that you can't kill easily. As long as you've got a fairly decent singer, it is a great song. So
I could kill it. Trust me, Phil.
Well, you could, yeah. But I've got a similar song, really, in a way, as my number 2, because this is also a song that's been sung mainly by women, and it's another one of those songs that's great in many versions. Now, the version... I'm not going to have Dusty Springfield because I've already had her, but she does a great version of I Just Don't Know What to Do With Myself. And there's also a very good version by Faith No More. Do you remember they did Easy by Lionel Richie? They also do a great live version of this. He does a great vocal on I Just Don't Know What to Do With Myself. But I think it's them. Well, it is them, but is it their song? I think it's this song that they do. No, sorry, I'm totally wrong. It's the next song that Faith No More do a cover of. But never mind. I've gone for...
Oh, dear.
I've gone for...
Prepared.
The White Stripes. Okay?
Ooh, back out.
And their recording of I Just Don't Know What to Do With Myself from the album Elephant. Rock version.
Was it Elephant or Elefunk? Or was that the Black Eyed Peas?
It's Elephant. But yeah. As a rock version of a Bacharach and David song, I just I do like
it is
that
good.
one. So I'm going for the White Stripes there. I just don't know what to do with myself. So what have you got at the top of the pile?
Top of the stack, right at the top, up there, in the middle of nowhere is... Well, I have gone for Dusty Springfield. And this song was originally going to be an instrumental. So it was originally planned to be an instrumental. And then Hal David just threw some lyrics together. And it is The Look of Love.
Very
another
good.
sublime, just quintessentially perfect song.
Yeah, also perfect vocal by Dusty Springfield. I think that's, I can't imagine anyone doing it better than her.
No.
Maybe there are versions that compete with that. If you know one, let us know in the comments.
I'm not sure if I do. I mean, all of the songs that I've chosen, Phil, all do take me back to my youth, because they're either on cassettes or things that my mum and dad would play in the car. And yeah, The Look of Love was always one that was on some mixtape somewhere. And it's, like I say, vocally, even if people don't enjoy the genre of music, I think we can all appreciate when something's done well. And I won't ruin the song by singing it, because it'd be awful. But The Look of Love by Dusty Springfield is magnifique.
It is. So can you guess what I've got at number one? I've gone for the song. I've gone for the song, the quality of the composition, rather than necessarily the performance. I'm saying this is, again, one of those songs that can be done by quite a few different people, and it's quite hard to kill this song. It's usually, you get a decent performance of it, it's always good. It's a great, great tune.
Ooh, is it Raindrops?
No, could have been, I suppose, but it's not Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head. It's one, I think, was written before that.
No, you've got me. Oh.
Go on.
Oh. Is it This Guy?
It is. This Guy's in Love with You.
He is, Phil. Very much so.
Or alternately, This Girl's in Love with You. It has been done by women as well in changed gender version. But I'm going for This Guy. Now, Herb Alpert is a very, very good version. There are some other good versions out there. I've gone a little bit left field, and this might be controversial for some, but I'm going for someone who is a bit more of experienced as a singer when he recorded this. I'm going for Johnny Mathis.
Ooh.
And his version. Now, Johnny Mathis may be a bit of an acquired taste. Frank Sinatra, one of my favourite singers in that kind of genre, hated Johnny Mathis. He said of him, yeah, he can sing well, but who wants to listen to it? So, he didn't like him, but I don't mind a bit of Johnny. Maybe it's a childhood thing, but I'm going for Johnny Mathis' version of This Guy's in Love with You. But it's Faith No More that's the one that they did, and that is also a very good version, worth checking out.
And I think in 1996 at the London Festival Hall, with Burt Bacharach on piano, Noel Gallagher did a version of this as well. And I see on Twitter Noel Gallagher did sort of pay his respects to Mr. Bacharach as well. But I love that song. It's a great song, and it was the Noel Gallagher version that got me into, and the fact he was on the front cover of Definitely Maybe, that made me think, oh, do you know what, Burt Bacharach? I've obviously heard of him, but it makes you want to sort of get a bit more. I've just hit my camera there.
Sometimes your heroes can get you into music if they talk about them or whatever.
Yeah. So, but that was hard, because there were so many different songs we could have picked.
Yeah,
nail it down to 5. And they're not they may not be the best ones he's ever done, but they all meant something to me. And there was, like we said, Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head, which I think was in Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, wasn't it? I remember. I don't think they. I think, is it Robert Redford? Yeah, Robert Redford didn't want it. He couldn't. He didn't think it suited the film. A lot of people didn't think it would suit the film, but
it's kind of plonked in the middle. Well, they have the scene where he rides around with the girl on the bike, and it's clearly, the scene was clearly created to put the song into the movie. It is a little bit shoehorned in, but it's so good that
it does work.
It's a little bit like
took a little bit of recording.
It's a little bit. Sorry, I was going to say it's a little bit like Steve McQueen's motorbike stunts being shoehorned into The Great Escape, just because he wanted to have that in.
In there. But yeah, I know it took a bit of recording. I think it took about 7 takes on the vocal to get it right. I don't think Bacharach was happy with the vocal on it, but I know the Redford came out afterwards and said that it worked perfectly well in the film. So, and there's a couple of other tracks I could have had in there. Walk the Way You Talk, another Diane Warwick song, very loungy. You can just imagine with a smoking jacket on. Hugh Hefner style music, as I'd probably class it as. And Be Aware, which is another Diane Warwick cover, which I think Barbra Streisand covered it in 2021.
Okay.
Very kind of quirky, the way the track flows. But we could talk all day about the amount of songs that he's produced over his time, and they're all great. And that's my personal, professional opinion. If anybody ever says, I'd just say, yeah, they're great. They're great. So,
well, those are our favourite Burt Bacharach songs. What are your favourite Burt Bacharach songs? Did we get it right? Were we outrageously wrong? Should it have been a completely different 5? Let us know in the comments below. We would like to read it, particularly if you've got some seldom heard songs that maybe we don't even know. So that would be great to find those out as well.
Yeah, that would be good. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to give us a subscribe if you like, and share us to anyone you know who likes watching this kind of waffle. Until next time.
Or somebody you don't like. Somebody you don't like, Phil. Send it to them.
What's your email address, man?
What are you trying to say?